Oh, hello and welcome. What are we talking about, Jamie Jakes? I am him, and today we are here to make you guys some money in a very special episode of Gambling After Dark, because we are recording late at night, unusual for us.
Whoa.
So if we get lost to what we're talking about and we say the entirely wrong team name or wrong player, it's late. Sorry about it. James, rejoining us here virtually on the show was, and I'm sure, a very lavish, stunning, beautiful vacation last week. And you are back
Work
with us
trip
this
to
week.
the fabulous Marriott in Houston that has the lazy river that's shaped like Texas.
Beautiful Marriott in Houston. Houston, hometown of Judge David Fleischer, guy who I am a big fan of on YouTube. If you know, you know. Go ahead and look him up and his probable cause court. Having a good time. It's always fun time with Judge David Fleischer. He's the guy with the bow tie. You've probably seen clips.
Yeah, I literally was watching a little reel of him earlier.
Anyways, we're here to talk about football. If this is your first time joining us, how it works every single week, James and I go head-to-head in a matchup. He presents us a slate of games. I have a force bet in that game. I don't know what pick he is about to pick. With those stipulations, James, it's been a tough year for you. 5-0. Jamie Jakes, this guy against this guy. I've got good news for you. Last week, both of us had winning weeks. The week before, both of us had winning weeks. Who's hotter than us, James?
Hotter than you? Nobody. Hotter than me? Probably a lot of people.
You're doing fine. It's not your fault. You run into a buzzsaw every week, and that is why I am the holder of the hammer of truth and justice on this podcast, because I did the same thing last season. During the regular season, best gambler alive. During postseason, James was one of the best gamblers alive. And also preseason, I'm pretty good myself, which is why I hold the lightsaber of the preseason as well. Like I said, I'm red hot. I'm 6-2 in the last 2 weeks.
I have
got
the
5 games.
air compressor of playoff success.
I forgot the recap horn that I usually play going into our last week's recap, because James, nobody's hotter than me right now, but you know what else? Nobody's more integral than me, because we're a big integrity podcast. There's no other gambling podcast in the world that has more integrity than we do, because we talk about our wins and our losses, and we grow from that. And we learn from that. So we're always honest with what our podcast listeners are getting. And for that reason, I'll sing the gong of last week's recap. It's a long gong.
It really is. I need to get like a Flava Flav clock and just look at it while it goes.
You can't talk through the gong, though. You just can't. That shows disrespect. We're going to start with Thursday night, my only losing bet. So I lost on my first bet and ran the table the rest of the week. James had a winning bet on this one. 49ers, Rams. I had the under, which actually was good until overtime. Overtime pushed the game to the over. It did require a slightly lucky punch out at the goal line. Right hook out of left field. But if there was an extra point that was made, the game would have gone 21-20. The game goes to a victory by one of the teams at that point. I probably cover. But oh well, I'll take that L. And sometimes we get lucky, sometimes we get unlucky, but we're going to celebrate when we get lucky, and we're going to be just a little bit bummed out when we get unlucky, because that's what happens in sports gambling. James had the 49ers at plus 6.5. They won outright. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
I even doubled down when my best friend Mac Jones was announced as starting quarterback. So I even got a better money line number on that one. So I am not upset to be losing this week in the podcast. I'll put it that way.
Congratulations on that. Yeah, in his actual pocketbook, did a little bit better than what he did on the podcast, which was a winning week. So we'll move on to the next game that we predicted. Cowboys and Jets. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I had the Cowboys covering 2.5, and it was never a doubt. Aaron Glenn currently 0-5. How's that going for you? We're doing a lot better without you in Detroit, by the way. Aaron Glenn. What are your thoughts on that's my only thought on this game. I just want to talk shit about Aaron Glenn. I thought as a Lions fan, I would be like, oh, go ahead and go get them, boys. Like, go cheer, go team, go. Like, we're once a Lion, always a Lion. And I had that attitude. And then he signed with New York and Ben signed with Chicago. I'm like, fuck those guys. Pieces of shit. Leaving Detroit for New York or New Jersey Jets and Chicago Bears in the division. Go to hell. They're dead to me. I hope their kids have to pay for college. I've said that before. I'll say that again.
Wow. I would hope with their salaries that their children do not have to pay for college.
Maybe they get fired. Maybe you don't know.
My summation of my feelings on this Jet game is if you just insert the clip of Jerry Jones flipping me off and pointing at me right now, I think that would be a good summation of how I felt about this game. Not even close.
And we're going back to the well with the Cowboys, right?
Hell no.
No, we're not.
No.
Are they on the slate though? That's what I was asking. On the slate, but they are on the slate. Okay, so I just tipped one of James's picks. Sorry about that. Spoiler alert. I know you guys are on the edge of your seat finding out for these picks.
They already know that if there's a Carolina Panthers plus money line, James is on it.
Of course there is. Commanders, Chargers, both on the Commanders, never a doubt. And our first best bet hit of the season.
Let's go!
1-4 on the season. Last year they did great. This year I have been recommending you just do regular units since week 1. I've been consistent. Regular units on our best bet of the week. Don't get crazy. Don't do 2x. Don't do 3x. Don't put 2 mortgages on it. Just one mortgage. Just one mortgage payment. Okay? Anyways, Commanders, never a doubt. You had the money line at plus 135. Chargers offensive line is kind of trash with a couple of injuries that they've had. Of course, Amarian Hampton goes out now on IR, and his backup running backs are pretty rough now that Naj is also on season-ending IR, and at least he can see out of both of his eyes. Thank goodness for that. Harbaugh having a rough go at it here. Actually, your underpick to start the season. So your underpick is going full Undertaker meme. Looked bad after 2 weeks. Looks pretty good right now. I mean, they have a win over the Chiefs, and they just lost to the Commanders pretty bad. The Chargers do. So what are your thoughts on this one, James? Commanders, Chargers.
Fantastic game to watch. I get so much pleasure out of seeing Jim Harbaugh lose games. So keep it coming.
You know what? You know how I feel about it. I like NFL Jim Harbaugh, and I hate to admit that out loud into a microphone, but
Jackie.
Maybe some of my friends are fans of his, and that's why we have gotten to the place that we've gotten. Sunday night! Our matchup came down to this again. It feels like every single one of our matchups comes down to prime time, Sunday or Monday night, and it's going to probably...
before the game asking, does this come down to it? And then you waited until after the game to text back and go, I won.
I was locked in. I wasn't checking my text messages.
Waited until the live stream was over to text you and ask you the important questions because I listened to this podcast on my drive back to Houston and couldn't remember every pick. And then you just wait until the game's over to hit me with a little, I won, haha.
You lost. I didn't know either, honestly. Anyways, Sunday night, Patriots, Bills. I had Pats plus 8.5. What do you want from me? They went outright. James had the over, actually. He didn't have the Bills side. He had the over, which was also a struggle. Every team now has a every.
It was done when they had 4 turnovers in a row on each series. I was like, nope, not hitting the over. Logged on to the old sports book and said, let's go take the Pats plus 3.5, and that worked out. So that was fun.
Of course you did. Yeah, never a doubter for me. For plus 8.5, Patriots had the lead for like a lot of that game. Yeah. Everybody now has a bad loss on their record. So now we're all even. It's just one team that we're going to cover later today that I am the universal champion of as a fan. Well, their horrible loss was in week 1 against a pretty good team. So just saying. All right, moving on to our slate. We've got some winners here for you. So you know what that means. Here comes the money train. For our week 6, is that right? We're week 6?
I think so.
Jeez, oh, Pete. Week 6 in the NFL. we just recap week 5. Lions are 4-1, so we must be going into week 6.
Mhm.
Eagles at the Giants. This is Thursday night. This will be Giants at home, underdog 6.5 or 7.5 points. The over-under set to 39.5 or 40.5. This opened a lot higher. Got bet down from 43.5, which is pretty crazy for an open to get punished that bad for a primetime game like this. This is Thursday night. I've been 1-1 on Thursday night. Last year I was like, I don't even know. I think I was like 1-12 last season on Thursday night. Still had 60% win record or 63% win record. So you tell me. But I think we got these Thursday nights figured out. A little bit of unluckiness last time around, like we already covered. James, what do you got on Eagles Giants?
Well, this one I think is a very interesting game. I do not have the age-o-meter, but I'm sure you do, on what these teams will look like recovery-wise. We should make our Thursday night bets sponsored by Normatec, the recovery company.
Yeah.
I, of course, as an NFL insider, have some information around what's going on in the Eagles locker room, and it's not good.
Duh.
The receiver core is not happy.
I have a Twitter account, and I know that, James.
Well, let me tell you, people who don't talk are talking, and that's always a bad sign. I think
How many Alabama Crimson Tide?
8.
Oh, that's a lot.
I know, but my source is a Georgia player. got a couple of videos of his DUIs and speeding, so just blackmailed him into telling me what was going to go on here.
Couldn't possibly guess who that is.
Maybe somebody who has a lot of saliva in their mouth and sometimes spews it in directions of people. That's all I'll say. But I think this Eagles team is not meshing well. And for a 4-1 team, they're not meshing well at all. I think it's Thursday night. We got Jackson Dart. We got Cam Scadaboo. And we've got an NFL team at plus 330 at home. Could a money dog addict like myself not take that? Give me the Giants at plus 330.
Plus 330 bet to open up the gambling slate. I looked into the ages because, like we said, week 1 or week 2, we had Commanders and the Packers. And the Packers were the youngest team in the NFL. Commanders were the oldest team in the NFL. So, of course, on a short week, you would expect the younger team to be able to recover and get ready faster for Thursday night. And that's exactly what happened. Packers absolutely destroyed the Commanders. I would say probably right now in most power rankings, though, Commanders would be way higher than the Packers if I had to guess. I don't know. I haven't looked through those power rankings, but just saying, worked out in week 2. Didn't quite work.
PFF grade? I know you love them so much.
PFF grades? Oh, I love PFF. Let's see a nice PFF grade. Anyways, it's a short week. Couldn't figure out an advantage by age. They were like a few tenths away from each other in the 53-man rosters in terms of age. It is, however, useful on a short week to fade a good head coach. And I know you just said there's a lot of turmoil in that locker room. I don't know if that's necessarily all his fault. They just won a gosh darn Super Bowl, for goodness sakes. So I would say huge coaching advantage for Philadelphia, immediately mitigated because of the short week. There's not enough time to prepare, right? Now, I know you're a big Dable guy. You know I'm not a big Dable guy. And I think we've seen what has happened since the Dable saga throughout New York. Maybe Cam Scadaboo and Jackson Dart will save his job, but if not, see you later, alligator. James is going to have to start paying for tickets again to see Giants games.
Come back.
There's also
back to Alabama, please.
So we can get tickets there.
Right.
Divisional game. Okay. Divisional games are always close, especially on a short week. All these Giants have to do is keep it within a touchdown. So give me the Giants at plus 7.5.
All right.
That's an agreement to start the podcast.
That's an amazing start to the podcast.
That's an amazing start. And now our best bet of the week is definitely going to be Giants on Thursday night. So we can lose that we can lose. We can go 1-5, and we have to sit through it. Sit with the knowledge that we lost through the whole weekend. I can't wait. All right.
I know for a fact there's a game later on the slate that is going to be our game of the week for sure.
Cowboys at Panthers. The Panthers again are home underdogs, getting 3 or 3.5 football points. Bet up from 1.5, by the way. The over-under set to 49.5. Bet up from 46.5, by the way. This is a perfect weather football game. What do you got on Cowboys Panthers, James?
Really, if you look at the statistics here, what is the best part of the Panthers game? It's their running offense.
What?
It's the offense. It's their offense. It's their running game. They've got a really good running game. That's probably the best part of their offense.
For sure.
Who is the worst at stopping the run in the NFL right now?
Cowboys. Not even only according to PFF, but also according to NFL Pro.
So let me tell you one thing, Jamie. What's something we often say on this podcast?
You got to be able to run the ball, and you got to be able to stop the run if you're going to win football games in the NFL.
You're telling me the Panthers have a major advantage in probably the most important statistical category that you can talk about in football, which is running the ball and stopping the ball. And they're plus 140. You know where I'm going with this, folks. Carolina Panthers plus 140.
I love your thought process here. You know, I do love that. But overall, before running, okay? Cowboys 4th best in EPA per play on offense. Pretty good. Panthers ranked 25th in that metric. So horrible. Horribly horrible. Yeah. Horribly bad horrible. Badly horrible offense the Panthers do have. Okay? Cowboys are pretty damn good. Some would say elite offense, especially when you consider they've been playing from behind a lot, so that metric usually wouldn't be as good when they're being super predictable, but it doesn't matter because Dak Prescott's throwing the pigskin around. You mentioned defense. We'll talk about that in a second. Cowboys, 4th best in points per game. Throw the metrics out. Let's just talk about points per game. That's a stat. 4th best. Panthers, 24th in points per game. Horribly bad, like we've already established with our metric earlier. Cowboys, 2nd worst defense in the NFL in EPA per play, like you said. Worst rushing defense in the NFL in EPA per play. I've got good news for you. Panthers defense also stinks. 9th worst in EPA per play. So we have an elite offense versus a terribly, horribly bad offense, and a terribly, horribly bad defense versus a terribly, horribly bad defense. Okay? And all I need to do, if I'm the Cowboys, who are on the upward trajectory with Shoddy, all right? Shoddy's getting the boys ready to go. Playing hard for Shoddy. All right? Cowboys, -3.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. I'm on the Cowboys. Moving on to our next game. Rams at Ravens. The Ravens at home. 7.5-point underdogs. The over-under set to 44 or 45.5. Small chance of rain. 16-mile-an-hour winds. Pretty good weather for football, if you ask me. James, what do you got on this one? Rams, Ravens.
This one's pretty simple. I know you're going to disagree with me, and I don't care. Lamar Jackson's going to play in this game. And quite frankly, if the Ravens...
No, he's not.
Lamar Jackson is going to play in this game.
Okay. All right.
You're
breaking news here. So Ravens have a bye week next week. Everyone's already counting Lamar Jackson out, and this line is counting Lamar out. I think you're out of your mind. I think you're crazy.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because if this Ravens team does not win this game, their season's over. They're tearing it down. It's rebuild mode. Lamar Jackson doesn't need to play another snap for the rest of this year because they should tank. They should tank very aggressively. Probably get a nice young running back named Jeremiah Love in the draft. That'd probably be a good strategy for them. I think Lamar Jackson plays. I think John Harbaugh likes to win games. I also think he wants to make the playoffs this year still. And gosh darn it, they got to win this game. Give me the Ravens at plus 305 at home in a must-win game for these Baltimore Ravens.
Do you think the Browns called, said, "Hey, you want your Super Bowl MVP back?" before they traded him to the Bengals? Do you think that happened?
I do not think that happened for a second. And quite frankly, I'm shocked that the Bengals were the ones who got Joe Flacco.
Kind of crazy. I mean, Joe Flacco, I think he's thrown 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions so far this season. That's not good. Anyways, we're not talking about Joe Flacco anymore. I was just wondering because, like, you're kind of right. If the Ravens are trying to win this year and they're still the odds-on favorite to win the division, which is
crazy.
Seems like we should be betting on the Steelers right now. But anyways, besides that point, yeah, the Ravens' defense stinks, by the way. And now their offense without Lamar Jackson's pretty horrible as well, especially when you don't give the ball to Derrick Henry more than 8 times in a football game. That's kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there could be a massive course correct on that side. So I did do a little bit of a deep dive here. Rams average overall defense and run defense rank 14th in EPA. So 14th in EPA per overall defense and in the rush game on defense. Ravens, like I said, bad D. Just don't got that good D. They got a bad D. And it's getting worse.
He's injured on the Ravens. It's not getting any better.
They're the third worst in EPA per play on defense. So bad defense versus I would say an average to mediocre defense, especially when it comes to running the ball, because obviously I don't think Lamar Jackson is playing this week, but you seem to. For that reason, we got a good running offense against a bad running defense and a bad everything defense against pretty good offense. 44.5 points, way too low. So I'm going to take the over 44.5 points. And if Lamar Jackson plays, we're counting our money in the first quarter.
I like that. I like that play.
Yeah, if you really think Lamar is going to come back, that would be a same game parlay. That's like the definition of same game parlay because it's correlated. Because if you do believe Lamar Jackson comes, which I don't, just talking theory here. That's all I'm talking is theory here. Gambling theory. It's an important part of this process. Is if you do believe Lamar Jackson, or if you do have the scoop, the inside scoop that an NFL insider would have, that Lamar Jackson is going to play this game despite everybody already counting him out. If you do have that scoop, then you have to bet same game parlay Ravens plus 7.5 over 44.5 because both of those lines move 3 points at least. I mean, the Ravens line would move probably to pick them if the difference between Lamar Jackson and Cooper Rush, and rightfully so, right? So that's just good theory there for you, James. All right. So I have the over. James has the Ravens. So we're kind of sort of agree on that one in a way. Anyways, moving on to Sunday night. We got Lions at Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 2 or 2.5 point favorites at home. The over-under set to 52.5 or 53 points. Should be good weather game, I'm pretty sure, for this one as well, James.
Yes. I checked the weather reports on all of our games. Quite frankly, all of them are pretty good. So that's also very nice. We're not dealing with any weather malfeasance. When I look at this game and I look at advanced statistics, I feel like I still don't understand how the Chiefs are favored in this game. The number one thing that I circled, Chiefs have the 26th worst run defense in the NFL against a team that has 2 starting running backs and sure as hell loves to run the ball and run you over and score on you by running the damn ball. Give me the Detroit Lions with more rest on the road in Arrowhead this weekend at plus 115.
Jeepers Creepers, James. That is the basically reading from my show notes here. Chiefs, home field worth. How many points? How many points are we giving these Chiefs for their home field?
Quite a lot with this line.
Yeah, I guess you're giving them, 5 points with this line?
I think it's 5.
I give you 2. I give you 2 points. Get us to an even team. I'm going to be generous. Wow. Most people, they're giving 1.5 points. Nowadays, with the way travel is, most people are giving 1.5 points for most home fields, especially when their fan base is already checked out on the season. Okay, so remove the teams, right? I know we're talking about the Lions and the Chiefs. If we were talking about this conversation 4 years ago, people are it's going to get a lot of views, but a lot of hate views because people are going to be calling us idiots. Now, we're just going to remove the jerseys. Okay, we're going to take the jerseys off these players. We're going to take Patrick Mahomes off the field. We're going to take Jared Goff off the field. We're just going to talk about them as metrics. What do their stats say? And why are the Chiefs 2.5 point favorites here on an unmotivated home field situation? EPA per play on offense. Lions are 3rd. Chiefs are 6th. Best in the NFL. Pretty good. EPA per play on defense. Lions are 3rd. Chiefs are 13th in the NFL. Pretty average. If you ask me, elite defense, elite offense for the Lions. Elite-ish offense. Very average defense for the Chiefs, which is not how the Chiefs have looked as of late. As a team, they've been playing a lot of good defense. Let's throw those metrics away. Those are nerdy stats, or those are nerdy metrics. Let's talk about stats here. Points per game, Lions 1st in the NFL, Chiefs 12th. Point differential, Lions second best in the NFL, Chiefs 12th in the NFL, which is actually pretty good for a team that's lost many games as they have, having a good point differential like that.
That's much higher than I would have predicted.
Coaching, penalties, Lions 9th best, Chiefs ranked 24th, which is bad in the way that I'm counting those, one of the most penalized teams in the NFL. And like you said, short rest for the Chiefs, which the Lions are going to benefit a lot from and continue to benefit a lot from this year. They actually have the biggest rest advantage for a team over 17 games in the history of 17 games. Isn't that interesting? If you make it 3 pages into Warren Sharp's book, you don't just make it past strength of schedule. This is one of the things you just kind of read and learn. Nobody's been talking about that, and that's an interesting thing to know about. Anyways, wrong team favored. WTF, Lions. And I'm going to take, when I wrote this down to finish this handicap, I'm like, I'll take Lions -2.5. And I was like, oh, no, wait. They're getting points here. Wrong team favored, Lions +2.5.
Wow.
Sorry about it.
Wow.
Moving on.
I'm shocked.
To our last game on the slate. It's Monday night. Bears at Commanders. The Commanders are favorites at home, 4 or 4.5 points, depending on where you get it. Over-under set to 48.5 or 49.5. And this is a doubleheader, again on Monday night, which I love. A lot of people hate. This is the later of the two. This is, I think, the 7:15 game, if you're talking about Central Time Zone, which is the best time zone. James, what do you got on this one? Bears, Commanders, Monday night.
It is unfortunately a Monday night doubleheader. I will be in the hate category for this one. Sorry.
I know.
We look at this weather report because that's obviously one of the first things that I have to do with any game in Chicago until they build a new stadium. Low winds. We're talking between.
I thought this was at Commanders.
Washington.
Okay.
You said it was a late night episode. I didn't think
dark. And look at me catching it. I bet you there's like 14 crazy things we said that I totally missed. But anyways, caught one. You're welcome.
Low wind game. Whatever stadium they're playing it in. All right. This could be Bikini Bottom. I looked up the weather report for the home stadium. Shoot me. It's fine. Roast me in the comments, David. But we have two teams here where you look at the Commanders, 7th best offense in the league. Bears, 18th best offense. You go and look at the defenses. The Commanders are the 16th worst, and the Bears is 27th. So what are these teams good at? They're both better at offense than they are at defense. They're both teams that have young quarterbacks who like to scramble around, throw the ball a lot. I love the over. I love the over in this game because pick sixes do help the over. I'm taking the over 49.5 in this game. I think we're going to have a high scoring shootout, and it's going to be a good one. Get your popcorn ready, as Mr. Lane Kiffin would say.
Turn your TV on, as Stephon Diggs said.
I'm watching you right now, Stephon. Clearly my TV is on.
I love that. I thought it was hilarious.
I have to be. My TV has to physically be on to be watching you.
By the way, Stephon Diggs, like trying for the second time this season on primetime, is the most predictable Stephon Diggs move of all time. We should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Take note for next time. Anyways, Bears, Commanders. Bears. What do we like to look for around this time of the season? How lucky are these teams? The biggest lucky thing you can have is turnover differential because it doesn't really stick from week to week, and it's pretty much purely based on luck. Bears very lucky in that statistic, 4th best in turnover differential in the NFL. Commanders very average in that metric or stat, 13th in the NFL. Bears, actually, according to EPA per play on offense, actually very bad, 23rd in EPA per play. Commanders, 7th in EPA per play on offense, much better offense, including a couple of games with Marcus Mariota. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? I don't know. Bears, EPA per play on defense, 13th, so actually better than the Commanders, 20th in EPA per play. But I think that 13th, like you said, James, has, and PFF, to its credit, does do a good job of kind of accounting for this. A lot of that EPA is turnovers, the lucky stuff. Common opponent, Raiders. They both played the Raiders recently, too. Yeah. Bears win week 4, 25-24. That's 1 point. If you're doing the math at home, Commanders win by 41-24 in week 3. If you're doing math at home, that's more than 1 point. much more than 1 point. So for that reason, I think these Commanders are going to have no problemo covering this moderate spread at home. Give me the Commanders at -4 points.
Wow.
So what did we agree on? Lions and
Giants. So you have a moral dilemma here. Do you believe that the Lions are good enough to beat our bet of the week curse? Or do you pick the Giants to ensure that your Lions have a better chance of winning because of the bet of the week curse? This is a big moment for you, Jamie.
Oh, I wonder what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Motor City Dan Campbell, best bet of the week. Lions on a longer break than the Chiefs. Lions also just a better football team, just across the board. I think we've demonstrated that in 5-7 different ways or whatever. A lot of statistics. And I don't love betting on my, team I'm the universal champion best fan of, because I am sometimes worried that my fandom will cloud my judgment. But historically, I've been pretty spot on with these Lions gut feeling wise. Week 1 felt horrible. Week 2 felt much better. Week 3, I think week 3 was the Ravens game, right? Whatever week the Ravens game was, when the Ravens were good, I was like, we got this. We're going to beat the Ravens. We're going to go into Baltimore and beat them on prime time. And I kind of feel the same way about this one. So I am going to take the Lions, and we are going to take them at -2, best bet of the week. Still not allowed to bet more than a unit on that.
+2.5. +2.5.
+2. I did it again.
Again.
I did it again. Not an alternate spread. I'm not an alternate spread guy. Lions +2.5. Thank you, James. Gambling episode after dark. And we caught 2 of our flubs that I'm sure we had, like I said, a million of. Thanks for joining us again. We will not have a game of the week for our live stream. I will be out of town in Vermont. So I'm going to load up some shorts or whatever. So stay tuned, subscribe for those. We will hopefully, I'm going to guarantee this. I guarantee we get a gambling podcast out next week. It's going to be late. Very likely on Thursday or Friday.
Thursday. Watch out.
And I haven't even talked to James to see if he can be there. But a gambling podcast will be posted on this channel. So please subscribe for that. And hey, when you're hot, you're hot. And historically, we usually get pretty hot around this time when we can dig into these metrics, and the sports books haven't quite caught up to us yet. So we love the spot that we're in. This is kind of when we start to groove, and then we just kind of try to hold on for dear life from week 16 to 18 is kind of how we tend to operate against the sports books. James, anything lasting to say to the audience?
Man, the only thing I have to say is I hope I do not feel as bad as Diego Pavia felt on Saturday this weekend.
Or Mark Sanchez.
Remember, that 24-year-old man is just a kid, and you cannot talk shit to him, even when he talks as much shit as he wants to you.
Thank you. I mean, Baker Mayfield talked shit to that one fan. Maybe he was older. Anyways, thank you. And good night.